as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Welcome to the 2014 MAAC Basketball Championship presented by Pepsi Max. From the Mass Mutual Center in Springfield, Massachusetts, it is semifinal Sunday. Our first game pitched the Canisius Golden Griffins against the Iona Gales. And the final four is all chalk. 1, 2, 3, and 4 all advanced through yesterday's quarterfinal round. So our first game has Iona against Canisius, and our nightcap here today in Springfield will be the Manhattan Jaspers against the Bobcats of Quinnipiac. And welcome everybody to Springfield. Doug Sherman along with former Division I assistant coach Rob Kennedy. No surprises to speak of so far. We had the 4 best teams during the regular season advance to the semis today.
And I think more than any other year that I've covered the MAAC, and you've been doing it a lot longer than I have, that there was a clear gap between the top 4 and everybody else. And so no surprise whatsoever that we've got the top 4 teams. And I think we're in store for 2 terrific games and some very interesting matchups.
Rob, was there one team out of the 4 that advanced that came through yesterday better in your mind?
Well, certainly Iona looked better than everybody yesterday. They played so well, and they moved the basketball and got everything going the way that they want to. They're a team whose offensive pressure that they put on you, when they get you on your heels and they're attacking, boy, they are tough to guard. Okay, which brings us to our first semifinal. This should be a fun matchup between the Griffs and the Gales. They've played a couple of doozies already this year. And they split the regular season matchup, and one of the things that you've got is you've got the offensive firepower on one side for Iona, but you've got offensive firepower on the other side, and one great player in Billy Barron. Not that he's a one-man show, and we saw that yesterday, but Billy Barron's ability to knock down threes so deep and score the basketball keeps Canisius with a fighter's chance throughout. And not surprising, the Conference Player of the Year, Billy Barron, is part of our one-on-one as we help to get you ready for this first semifinal. Oh, he had a great senior season, can score the basketball. He's got unlimited range, over 24 points per game, second best in the MAAC, third best in the country. And as we said, look at that range, over 100 threes on the season, a new school record. You talk about range. Well, nobody's got Sean Armand's range. He's got NBA range. We got the NBA line on the floor here today. He'll be 2-3 steps behind that. You've got to find him in transition and in their offense. If he starts knocking down threes and they stretch 4 guys out at the perimeter, it's a big problem. Sean Armand, you got to guard him as soon as he comes off the bus. Iona's won 13 of 14 coming in. The number 1 seed to take on the number 4 seed from Canisius. Let's get our starting lineups from the public address announcer here at the Mass Mutual Center, Dan Collins.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Mass Mutual Center and the 2014 MAAC Basketball Championship. Today's first semifinal features the number 1 seeded Gales of Iona College versus the number 4 seeded Golden Griffins of Canisius College. Ladies and gentlemen, here are your starting lineups. For Canisius, a 6'6" senior forward from the Bronx, New York, number 13, Chris Van Hertz. For Iona, a 6'7" sophomore guard from Newark, New Jersey, number 1, Isaiah Williams. For Canisius, a 6'10" senior center from Rochester, New York, number 35, Jordan Heath. For Iona, a 6'4" sophomore guard from Wilmington, Delaware, number 5, AJ English. For Canisius, a 6'3" freshman guard from Windsor, Connecticut, number 1, Zach Lewis. For Iona, a 6'6" senior guard from Queens, New York, number 12, Mike Poole. For Canisius, a 6'2" senior guard from East Greenwich, Rhode Island, number 12, Billy Barron. For Iona, a 6'5" senior guard from York, Pennsylvania, number 21, Trey Bowman. For Canisius, a 6'3" senior guard from Santiago, Dominican Republic, number 23, Chris Perez. And for Iona, a 6'5" senior guard from Brooklyn, New York, number 22, Sean Armand.
Here's a look at our coaching matchup brought to you by Anaconda Sports, home of the Rock, beginning with Jim Barron in his 27th season as a Division I head coach, the last 2 at Canisius. Won 20 games a year ago, 21 games and counting so far this year. And Tim Cluse in year number 4 with the Iona Gales, celebrating a birthday today, and he shares that birthday with his son TJ, who has turned 16 today. And the best birthday present for the Cluse family today would be earning a spot in tomorrow night's MAAC championship game, Rob.
And certainly the way they played yesterday, they're a big favorite coming in.
Well, we talked a couple of minutes ago about the season series back on January 17th in New Rochelle. A tremendous game. Billy Barron went for 29, hit a couple of free throws in the closing seconds for the final margin, 85-83. And then the game in Buffalo, 101-91. The Gales, led by A.J. English, their first team all-conference guard with 32 points. It should be a tremendous matchup as the 6'2" senior from East Greenwich, Rhode Island, leads his Canisius Golden Griffins onto the floor here at the Mass Mutual Center. Canisius had to get past Siena in the quarterfinal round yesterday, 71-65. They shot very well from the perimeter. All 5 starters reached double figures, but we did not see a vintage Billy Barron scoring performance. You had a chance to talk to him after the ball game, Rob.
Yeah, and I think he was pressing a little bit yesterday. When I saw him afterwards, he said, you know what? We got that win. It's a big one for us. Last year they lost in the quarterfinals against these same Iona Gales, and it's another step forward for the program, and I think he'll play with a little bit less pressure on him today, and I suspect he'll shoot the ball a little bit better than he did yesterday.
Now, this is the first time in 12 years a Canisius team has played in the MAAC semifinals. And so Billy Barron has gotten over that threshold, now trying to take the next step and reach the championship game. Offensive foul, and so Barron picks up his first personal just 17 seconds in.
And Iona did a good job, especially in the beginning of the game yesterday against Ryder, Doug, with their zone defense, really getting out, closing out. Mike Poole moving his feet, giving up his body to pick up that charge.
Iona got by Ryder yesterday, 94-71. A.J. English had a quiet ball game. Pass back out to Armand. Isaiah Williams for 3.
And that's when they kill you. If you allow dribble penetration, they do as good a job at driving into gaps and kicking the basketball out as any team in the country. They average over 17 assists per game, 4th best in the country, and so many of those Dougs off dribble penetration.
Well, Manhattan head coach Steve Masiello has called this Iona team the best collection of passers he's ever seen. Not just the backcourt, but everybody. And I talked to Jim Barron before today's ball game, and he echoed those sentiments. Zach Lewis, member of the all-rookie team, and he's tied the ball game up early.
And with him in the starting lineup the last 17 games, Canisius 12-5, and not only his scoring, but the ability to put the ball in his hands and take some ball handling pressure off Billy Barron, one of the keys to the late run by the Griffs.
Drive and dish from Armand Poole.
It all starts with that drive. If you don't contain the dribble, you're in trouble.
Again, we've seen that now twice from Sean Armand, who has the reputation, and rightfully so, as being as good a three-point shooter as there is in the nation. But he has added to his game this year. Another corner 3. It's Williams again.
And as you said, another corner 3. They must have had 7 or 8 yesterday as they continued to push the ball up the floor, and get those corner looks.
Iona leads the MAAC in points per game at around 85 per contest. Lewis with another deep three.
Now he's in the top 10 in the MAAC at over 2 threes per game, and that was a deep one.
And the Mike Poole corner jumper a moment ago was only a 2. Williams tries to go 3 for 3, can't do it. 8-6, Iona with the lead. Canisius with the basketball. Barron's first attempt rims out. English.
They get so many of their threes in transition, and when you think of transition threes, you think of the push ahead via the pass, but they've got guys in both English and Armand that can pull a three themselves right off the dribble. You don't see that from a lot of college guards.
Jordan Heath off the mark, and there's Chris Manhurst cleaning it up.
And he cleaned it up yesterday when his team was in trouble. He just became a man on the offensive glass. 11 offensive rebounds in that second half.
Poole with another 2. The pace and the tempo certainly what Iona is looking for, but Canisius can get up and down as well.
That's one of the things Jim Barron talked about. He said, you got to go at them. You can't be playing on your heels.
Chris Perez tracks down the long rebound. A little bit of space. Right, he misses from the baseline. A lot of interchangeable parts for this Iona team. Everybody can shoot. Everybody can pass. Everybody can drive. Armand for 3 more.
And that's the thing, because everybody can do a little bit of everything. How do you guard them? And you've got a couple of tough matchups out there right now. Manhurst, who does he guard? He's got to go guard a perimeter guy. They put tons of pressure on you with their offense. They've got no weak link offensively, and we haven't seen David Lowry yet, who was tremendous yesterday.
Shot clock down to 8. Perez working on Armand. Catch and shoot for Jordan Heath. Perez has to bring it back out to Barron. Lewis, another NBA range 3.
And how about that play, though, by Billy Barron? Just taking it with his left hand and redirecting it.
Count the basket. They call it goaltend against Jordan Heath. Well, the top-seeded Iona Gales have looked very much like the best team here so far this afternoon.
Well, look what the wind doing. Putting the team back together. We need you. That's music to my ear.
It's too easy out here.
Oh, man, man. Oh, baby.
It's knowing that you will always compete against the best while making you become the best that you can be. It's about joining a family with a storied history where athletics and academics are held to the highest of standards. It's about creating the future leaders of tomorrow, all with the focus on one goal: graduation. It's the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
Division I basketball returns to Springfield this March. The MAAC Men's and Women's Basketball Championships, where somebody could become an NCAA champion. March 6th through the 10th, Mass Mutual Center in Springfield.
Gets it off from midcourt.
Get your tickets for the MAAC Basketball Championship and get into the action
All the way to the finish.
at Ticketmaster.com, Massachusetts.com, or at the Mass Mutual Center box office. Presented by Mass Mutual Financial Group.
Well, look what the wind doing. Putting the team back together. We need you. That's music to my ear.
It's too easy out here.
Oh, man, man. Oh, baby.
The 2014 MAAC Basketball Championship is brought to you by Pepsi Max. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. And by Anaconda Sports. Home of the Rock is proud to sponsor the MAAC. It's another beautiful afternoon here in Springfield, Massachusetts, with Iona off to a blazing start, 18-11. And Tim Kluse Well, you can call him an offensive genius. He has really got it working again this year.
And he's really creative with how they play. You think about the fact they graduated Momo Jones, the player of the year last year. He was a point guard, ball in his hands. A.J. English never played the point guard spot, but Tim Clue saw something and said, you know what, let's put the ball in his hands. Got it out of Tavon Sledge's hands. From that, they've been a totally different team. A.J. English, a first-team all-conference selection, and their offense has just been on a roll.
Well, Rob, they are on a pace to score 144 points today.
That's pretty good pace.
Knocking down the threes.
Yeah, 7 of 9 from the floor, 4 of 5 from beyond the three, and 5 assists
exactly
on those 7 field goals.
That's what I was going to point out. They share the basketball extremely well.
You saw those numbers in the top 5 in all those statistical categories this year. They've been it the last couple of years and with different guys.
Barron has his pass deflected out of bounds by Poole. The Griffs will have it, but with only 3 seconds on the shot clock. Low on our TV monitor, it says 2. Up on the board here in the building, it says 3, and Jordan Heath has no idea. That's a shot clock violation, so that's the second time. Defensively, Iona's done a nice job to force Canisius late into the shot clock. David Lowry's come into the game for the first time. He's got the basketball now, a dynamic point forward. Listed at 6'9", 255. Doesn't shoot three-point shots, but does pretty much everything else around the paint very efficiently.
And he is a nightmare matchup for guys.
And it'll be interesting to see how he and Chris Manhertz match up. Lowry has had a tale of 2 seasons. First half of the season as a starter. Did a lot of sleepwalking through games. Then he got benched after a poor performance in January against this Canisius team. And since that time, he has taken off. Zach Lewis off to a flying start already with 11 of the 13 Canisius points.
And Canisius with full court pressure, not necessarily to try and force turnovers, but to take some time off the clock and try to slow Iona down. A little 2-2-1, just backing off of it, forcing ball reversal.
Here's Sean Armand. Right to the rim for 2 more.
And you saw when he ball faked, right, Doug? 2 guys went running by him, because when he shows the basketball, you got to close out. And he has expanded his game. The freshman, he couldn't make that play, and now he makes it look completely easy.
Skip pass to Perez, who pulls up. And that's a 2-point shot. The assist to Barron. Bowman. He's coming off a big 28-point performance in the quarterfinal victory. Foul in the backcourt goes against Mike Poole. And he'll be replaced in the lineup after picking up his first personal foul by Isaiah Williams. How good is Isaiah Williams? He's a sophomore from Newark, New Jersey, 6'7", can stroke the 3 as we've seen. And if you're game planning against Iona, he's what, maybe the 4th or 5th guy you think about?
Yeah, and certainly his length is one of the things that has really bothered people. He missed 5 games. He was out for personal reasons, and the Gales went 1-4 in those game situations. With him in the lineup, they're 20-5, and even better as a starter, 18-3.
Yep.
And those are numbers that the NCAA selection committee has to take a look at. If the Gales are not able to win the MAAC championship, they don't want to have to worry about that. They're planning on winning a couple of games up here.
Manhertz on the offensive rebound. Well, in his first game in about 3 weeks without a face mask because of a broken nose, Manhertz still not afraid to mix it up.
And yesterday, in their first round game when they were struggling against Siena, he just kind of put his team on his back. Billy Barron wasn't scoring the basketball as well, and they couldn't get anything going with their offense. They had 2 offensive rebounds in the first half. They finished with 13. Part of Manhertz's double-double yesterday that bailed them out.
And that face mask, we understand, is over on the Canisius bench in case he changes his mind. But he, like most players who have suffered a broken nose and had to wear the face mask, absolutely hated wearing it. Now good was he, like you said, Rob, yesterday? A double-double, most of that in the second half.
Canisius will mix it up between their zone defense, little 2-3 as well as 3-2. Play man. Jim Barron said we got to try and keep them off balance and get them out of their offensive rhythm as much as possible.
There's the high post passing of David Lowry. Williams with the easy two.
And they did a great job against Ryder yesterday, whether it was a full court pressure or the quarter court zone, getting the ball into the high post in that guy's hands.
Bill Valenti's come into the ball game for the Griffs. Here's Barron for three.
Well, if you collapse in the zone and don't get out to Barron quick enough, he's going to make you pay, and he does right there.
First 3 points for Barron here this afternoon.
And so for as good a start as Iona got themselves out to, just up by 2 right now.
The largest lead was 8. English spotting up. Bowman with the follow slam. Remember what I said about Isaiah Williams when you don't think about a certain guy until maybe 4th or 5th on the depth chart? What about Trey Bowman? Perez with the quick answer at the other end. Bowman able to go for 28 yesterday, do things like that, knock down the 3, and again, he's maybe your 3rd, 4th, 5th guy.
And you can't key on 1, 2, or 3 guys. You've got to guard all 5 guys on the floor. They've got no weak links offensively.
Long weekend. 10:35 remaining first half of our first semifinal. Williams gets away from the potential trap. Shot clock down to 4 as English has to retreat to midcourt. And there is Bowman. Manhurts, though, pulls down the defensive rebound. Barron uses the screen. Can't get the roll. Manhurts keeps it alive. But here comes Lowry, who's happy to go coast to coast. And the foul given by Lewis at the free throw line, which will send us to our under 12 media timeout. Iona 24, Canisius 22.
If you want to be in medicine, start practicing. If you want to be in accounting, start crunching numbers. If you want to score points, get in the game. If you want to make a difference, serve others. Canisius students are many things, eager to learn, capable of taking on an ever-changing world. The only thing they're not is content to sit still.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Everybody knows that.
Well, did you know that when a tree falls in the forest and no one's around, it does make a sound?
Oh boy! I'm falling! Everybody look out! Oh!
Little help here?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you. Well, you know.
Anybody?
You must do the thing you think you cannot do.
The mind is everything. What you think, you become.
It is not best that we should all think alike.
He who learns but does not think is lost.
The main purpose of life is to live rightly, think rightly, act rightly.
Oh, the things you could think of if only you try.
Welcome back to the MAAC Basketball Championships presented by Pepsi Max. And we send it over to the 3rd member of our team, Mitch Bonaguro, standing by with the Griffs head coach, Jim Barron.
Jimmy, the zone slowed them down. Was that your thought?
Yeah, we just needed to make some adjustments. They're a good team. They can shoot the ball, especially from the perimeter. It's a long game, Mitch, so you got to keep trying to make some adjustments and see what's working. And then by the same token, we got to look down and score ourselves.
I mean, Manhurst should be a big factor in this game. They're not a good rebounding team. You're going to go to him in the later in the half.
That's going to be real important, but he's doing a great job on the offensive end. He's got to keep getting second shots.
Good luck, Jim.
All right, thanks.
A couple of old buddies from Brooklyn there just catching up. You can vote for Jim Barron's son, Billy, right now. He's one of 24 NCAA Division I point guards to be named a finalist for the Cousy Award. You can cast your vote by going to CouseyAward.com. And also for all things Billy Barron, go to billybarron12.com. And all of these numbers and much, much more can be found there. And it's no wonder, Rob, that he was the MAAC Player of the Year, and by a fairly wide margin. I mean, everybody seemed to be in agreement that he had the best year of anybody in the conference.
Well, not only his scoring, but he gets other guys involved. He accounts for 47% of their points between his scoring and his assists. And you take him off this team, where would they be?
Well, we'll find out next year.
Yep. Certainly that's going to be big shoes to fill.
Well, next year, we've talked about the separation between this year's top 4 teams and the remaining 7 teams. Based on graduation, you would think that those 4 teams will come back to the pack a little bit, and some of the other teams will have a better chance to continue to move up and creep up. Although you never know about incoming freshmen and transfers and all the other things. But as it looks right now, Williams for 3. Sean Armand working the offensive glass.
Yeah, showing you he's way more than a designated shooter. We've talked about it a lot. First 2 years, he had one skill, shooting the basketball. Not a bad skill to have, but he has really worked hard each of the last 2 off seasons to make himself a complete player.
Chris Perez averaging over 12 per game. He's got 4 so far here this afternoon. Griff's back within a pair. Now, Sean Armand is 3rd among all college players at the Division I level in 3-pointers made. That's for active players, but we have seen him drive and dish multiple times. We've seen him work the offensive glass here in the first half. Lewis, another deep 3. This one he left short. Valenti, Mr. Energy. Back to Josiah Heath, who puts up a brick.
And that was not a good decision by Heath to pull the trigger.
Trey Bowman into the corner for Williams. Perez left wide open because of the double team on Barron. There's Valenti again, just throwing it up at the rim after being fouled by Armand.
Now he's the Energizer Bunny off the bench for them. He gives them great energy. At a real good game in the quarterfinal matchup. 8 points, a perfect 2 for 2 from the floor. Valenti, a red shirt, who took full advantage of that, worked on his upper body strength. And, he's a skinny kid coming out of high school, and now he's starting to fill out a little bit. And Jim Barron has used the red shirt. Not only did Valenti red shirt last year, but Dominique Rainey as well as red shirt. And when you look at this year's roster, they've got 4 freshmen right now that are basically all red shirting. So one of the things that a lot of guys are afraid to do that, right? You're looking for depth all the time, but part of the plan on how to rebuild this program, utilizing the red shirts.
Valenti's tied the ball game at 26, so they have erased the 8-point lead Iona once had. Tavon Sledge has come into the game for the first time at the point with the basketball for Iona. Out there with English, Poole, Williams, and Armand. This is Armand. And again, the 3rd leading active 3-point shooter in the nation with unlimited range.
Unlimited range, great stroke rotation on the basketball, and he gets rid of the basketball quickly.
Barron went down hard. The Gales come away with the basketball. Here's Armand again. He's going to attack. And he's able to get the roll.
He sized up who was guarding him defensively and saw it was Valenti. Went right at him.
12 points for the 6'5" senior from Brooklyn. Billy Barron still with only 3 points so far here today. Perez. To give him room, he will score. Over 1,400 career points.
And usually out at the 3, you can back off him a bit, but he's been shooting it better from deep as of late.
Yeah, up to 37% on the year. 7 minutes remaining first half with a spot in tomorrow night's MAAC championship game on the line. Armand, that's a 2-point shot that he left well short. Barron, Valenti tried to give it back to Barron, but it's Iona basketball coming 2-on-1. blocking foul, and a couple of Griffs are down in pain, and so is A.J. English. Take a break and come back to Springfield, Massachusetts after this.
Well, look what the wind blew. Putting the team back together. We need you. That's music to my ear.
It's too easy out here.
Oh, man, man. Oh, baby.
Deep within you is a relentless drive. You come prepared. You come willing to work. You come to win. Discover the Performance Protein Bar made just for you. Come ready. 24 grams of protein, 5 grams of fiber, no sugar alcohols. One unbelievably awesome taste. Come ready. You don't quit, and neither should your bar. Come ready for the competitive.
Well, look what the wind blew. Putting the team back together. We need you. That's music to my ear.
It's too easy out here.
Oh, man, man. Oh, baby.
With Rob Kennedy and Mitch Bonaguro, I'm Doug Sherman back in Springfield. Let's show you another look or two at that collision we had right before the break.
Well, Heath is a guy who always gives up his body. He's taken 32 charges. See the knee kind of get out and create the contact. Everybody went down hard. See, he's outside the restricted arc. But you see him leaning over and the knee right there, knee to knee. Everybody took it hard on that one.
But as we were going to break, everybody did get up and under their own power got back to their benches. And Heath stays in the ball game. Actually, it is the other Heath brother, Josiah, who did go out of the game. So his brother Jordan is back in. And English is shooting the free throws for himself. And there you see the ice pack on the forehead of Josiah Heath. He's a 6'9 junior. His brother Jordan is a 6'10 senior. Both out of Irondequoit High School in Rochester. David Lowry back in for the Gales, replacing English. Dominique Rainey's come in for the Griffs with the basketball. Sledge called for the foul. That's his first.
The Gales in the man-to-man, and he was just hanging on to Billy Barron coming off a screen.
Barron, Perez, Rainey, Manhertz, and Jordan Heath on the floor for the Griffs in their road blue uniforms. They're the number 4 seed, taking on the number 1 seed from Iona. Rainey misses the 2. Jordan Heath lost it on the way back up, and Sledge has it for the Gales. Quickly the other way. Poole tries a no-look, but it's deflected away by Barron. And here comes the conference player of the year. Up and over Lowry for 2.
Again, much like we saw Armand size up the defender, he realized he had the quickness to get by Lowry.
Armand, around and out. Good closeout by Perez defensively. Long pass to Rainey. He goes up with the idea of throwing it down, but he was about 3 feet too far away from the bucket. And that turns into an easy 2 as the 5'9" Tavon Sledge gets his second dunk of the tournament.
And nice outlet by Lowry. A lot of big guys catch it. They're looking around. He's looking up the floor. Put it right on the money.
Whistle before the shot. And Lowry picks up the personal.
Watch David Lowry here. As soon as he catches it, his eyes are ahead. Tavon Sledge, much like we saw yesterday, able to finish with a two-handed dunk.
And clearly his high ankle sprain suffered in the summertime is much better. He told me several weeks ago he's back to dunking, and he has proven that here in Springfield this weekend. Back cut to Manhurst, and Lowry comes away limping.
And that's a perfect example of how Billy Barron, he didn't get the assist, but he's the guy that made the play. He's coming off the screen on that baseline out of bounds action, and everybody, two defenders, jump to Billy Barron. That allows Manhurst to slip inside for the easy two.
And so the senior from the Bronx was just about to shoot his free throw as Trey Bowman tried to enter the ball game. The officials say no, and Earl Walton goes over to explain to the crew here, working the sideline, not to try and let him in at that point.
Come around a two-shot foul. The sub doesn't come in until after the first foul shot.
Manhurst completes the three-point play, and now Bowman can come in. Lowry goes out. It's been a fairly quiet game so far for Lowry through the first 15 minutes. English, Sledge, Williams, Poole, and Bowman, the five on the floor for the Gales from New Rochelle, New York, just north of New York City. Canisius, by the way, if you're unfamiliar, is from Buffalo, New York. Sledge steps into the three and leaves it well short. Rebound goes out of bounds untouched. So the Golden Griffins here have a chance to take their first lead of the ball game. 4:22 remaining in the half. Barron, the runner, and just like that, Canisius is on top, 36-35. And it's Canisius basketball.
That smart heads-up play by Rainey. Looked like he was running back in transition, just doubled back, shot the gap, come up with a quick steal. Here's the good finish by Barron. He's got the upper body strength to be able to fight through contact.
Barron has to burn a timeout there. He took the inbounds pass in the corner, got trapped immediately. Nice bit of sportsmanship from Billy Barron. He may have seen it, where he gave the opposing head coach, Tim Kluse, a little respectful tap to the midsection to say hello.
Well, if defenses are going to bail out to Billy Barron, other good things are going to happen. A nice crossover. Look, 4 different defenders are on Billy Barron at one point in time in that possession, but his upper body strength allows him to finish once he gets there.
He's able to pinball off defenders and still keep his shoulders square and get off a good-looking shot. And we've seen it time and time again this year.
Yeah, he really worked hard in the offseason to work on his upper body strength and went through difficult training to try and get him to the point where he's going to be able to finish the season strong.
If he had stayed at Virginia, which he played as a freshman with the Cavaliers, where do you think he'd be as a senior in the ACC right now? A very good Virginia team, Rob.
Well, I think his skill set fits into how they play, and so you would expect that he would be able to be an important part of that team as well. I think he's a guy that can play. Doesn't matter. He's not just putting up those numbers because he's at the mid-major level. He's a guy whose game certainly translates to the high major level.
Yeah, he left Virginia more about wanting to come home and play for his dad at Rhode Island than leaving Virginia because he was dissatisfied there. He's still good friends with Joe Harris and his other classmates, who, by the way, got beaten today by Maryland.
The Terps.
We'll take a break. Late first half, 1 point Canisius lead. A bus of students at Canisius College spending a long weekend here in Springfield, Massachusetts, rooting for their Griffs, who lead Iona by a point with a spot in the MAAC championship game on the line. We're in the first semifinal here, and the head coach of the Griffs, Jim Barron, asked me before the ball game to pass along his best wishes to the Moretti family. They've dedicated this weekend's tournament in the memory of their good friend Brian Moretti, who died earlier this week at the age of 27 of a heart attack. He was a huge supporter and friend of the Canisius basketball program, was currently working at St. Bonaventure University, Coach Barron's alma mater, but he said that Brian was a very close friend not only to the coach but also to both of his sons.
And he was on the road working as the assistant SID at St. Bonnie's with the women's basketball program down in Richmond for their game, and a tragic loss for the St. Bonnie's family as well.
Shot clock at 3. Armand puts it up. Around the rim, off the backboard, and that's a good shot for Sean Armand.
Exactly.
Even though it was a tough contested shot with the shot clock winding down.
And he's a good shooter off the bounce. He's a good shooter off the catch. He's an athletic shooter. He's got a quick release. It's hard to keep him away from finding good shots.
Rainey gets a 3 right back for Canisius.
Well, the 3 ball has really helped out Canisius. That last 3 there by Sean Armand at the other end, just the second 3 in the last 10 shot attempts that the Gales have made after starting so hot at 4 of 5 from beyond the 3.
Armand leads all scorers right now with 15 points. Both teams, Rob, shooting better than 50% today from the field. Bowman. Now these threes are not just beyond the line. They are out at or around the NBA three-point line.
And what makes it so hard, you can't really key on Sean Armand, because if you run a second guy at him, Bowman steps up, Williams can make threes. They spread 4 guys out at the perimeter who aren't just good three-point shooters, they're excellent three-point shooters.
Just over 2 minutes remaining in the half. Barron rises up, left it well short.
And that's a tough shot. You got to be able to find a better one than that.
Bowman in the corner. He puts it up. And he is feeling it here this weekend.
That's the way they play. This 9 out of 10 threes, come back, hit 3 out of 3 from beyond the arc.
Manhurts, with 3 white shirts around him, earns another trip to the free throw line.
That is one way to slow Iona down. Pound the basketball inside and make them have to guard in the post. With all those interchangeable parts on the offensive end and all those perimeter guys, they don't have anybody that can necessarily really handle a big, strong, physical post guy inside.
And you just described Chris Manhurts to a T.
Big, strong, physical, and tough.
6'6", 235 out of Cardinal Spellman High School. That's in New York City. He is a native of the Bronx. Nice interior passing for the easy 2. It's Williams making it 46-40.
And they get the ball into the high post, Doug, because you got to go guard everybody out to the three-point line. So you're in the zone defense. You can't pack it in against Iona, so you have to extend with your zone defense. That allows those passes into the high post. And no matter who they run there, David Lowry, Michael Poole, those guys can all pass the basketball when they catch it in the high post.
Here's Manhertz, again surrounded by 3 white shirts. The kick out to Rainey. Manhertz fouled by Poole.
And since the Gales create so many matchup problems at the other end, for you trying to match all their perimeter guys, you got to make them pay at the other end for having 4 guards on the floor all the time. You got to be able to pound the basketball in. Played a little inside out to Manhertz. You get an open look from 3, and then Manhertz just out working everybody right now on the offensive glass. Now he's got to be able to convert from the line.
And there's a good look at Josiah Heath, who went out a few minutes ago after taking a shot to the face. Also, his knee looked like it may have been compromised a little bit, but it's good to see that the ice pack is on the forehead, not the knee. Trying to get the swelling down. Manhertz 1 out of 2 from the line. Canisius back within 5. English guarded closely by Billy Barron. Timeout, Iona. So with 14.6 remaining in the half, Tim Kluse wants to set up one good look before the break. Coming up later tonight here in Springfield, it'll be the 2nd-seeded Manhattan Jaspers against the 3rd-seeded Bobcats of Quinnipiac. That's scheduled for a 7 o'clock tip at the Mass Mutual Center. You can see that as well on ESPN 3. The winner will take on the winner of this ball game in tomorrow night's championship game, which is 7 o'clock on ESPN 2. Rob, what are you seeing out of the Jaspers and Bobcats in our nightcap?
Well, interestingly enough, Manhattan and their terrific defense and the pressure they put on you, they may be the number 2 seed, but the Bobcats were able to sweep the regular season series. That should be a good matchup.
So we'll see what Coach Kluse, coming out of this timeout, has drawn up. He's got Armand and English in the backcourt, along with Williams, Poole, and Bowman.
And Canisius back to straight man as they were at the end of that last possession before the timeout.
Poole, the Rutgers transfer, able to get the pass into the backcourt to Williams. Down to 5 seconds. Armand spins on Barron, puts it up and in.
Great execution, and then an even better shot to finish it.
A big first half for the first-team all-conference guard out of Jackie Onassis High School in New York City. Sean Armand heads to the locker room with 17, and Iona leads by 7. He can do much more than knock down the 3-point shot, and because of that, the Gales are 20 minutes away from punching their ticket in the MAAC Finals. Back with our halftime report here in Springfield, Massachusetts, right after this. the Gales.
Sean, great first half, 49 points. You had a slow period there in the middle. What got you going at the end of the half?
As a team, we're just coming out. We're just trying to play right now. Certain shots that we were usually hitting, not falling. Both teams playing hard, so things going to go sooner or later.
Canisius went to the zone, and you struggled a little bit with it, but the last 5 minutes you really kind of solved it.
Just passing the ball a little bit more, trying to work the zone, and just being active.
Good luck in the second half.
Sean Armand typically puts up over 500 shots a day, and he is reaping the reward so far here this afternoon. He and the Gales up 7 at the intermission.
Well, look what the wind blew. Putting the team back together. We need you. That's music to my ear.
It's too easy out here.
Oh, man, man. Oh, baby.
It's knowing that you will always compete against the best while making you become the best that you can be. It's about joining a family with a storied history where athletics and academics are held to the highest of standards. It's about creating the future leaders of tomorrow, all with the focus on one goal: graduation. It's the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
Deep within you is a relentless drive. You come prepared. You come willing to work. You come to win. Discover the Performance Protein Bar made just for you. Come ready. 24 grams of protein, 5 grams of fiber, no sugar alcohols. One unbelievably awesome taste. Come ready. You don't quit, and neither should your bar. Come ready for the competitive.
I'm excited for college, but financially, it's going to be a little hard. I have to apply for scholarships, definitely. Money is kind of a big topic for us for college.
Job placement is really important, especially in today's economy, because I want to work as soon as I can to work off the debt and do, what I want to start doing for a living. I want to have the nice progression from, school to college to my life.
Well, look what the wind blew. Putting the team back together. We need you. That's music to my ear.
It's too easy out here.
Oh, man, man. Oh, baby.
We're back in Springfield, Massachusetts at the Mass Mutual Center here at the MAAC Championships. I'm joined by the MAAC Commissioner, Rich Zenser, and this is the third of a 3-year contract here in Springfield, and then starting in 2015, we'll be moving back to Albany with a new contract there, but that new contract includes a lot of different variables at the Times Union Center.
Well, we're always trying to improve, and when we came here, we added the honor roll dinner at the Hall of Fame, and when we go back to Albany for a 3-year period, we're going to just try to rebrand the whole look. We wanted to give it a 21st century sports look, invested with the sports graphic company out of Indianapolis and hired a consultant. And we're now going to have all new pieces. We're going to have a floor that is MAAC branded, and we're going to have quite a look throughout the town that folks will realize that the MAAC tournament's there, and it's something other than just the regular season basketball.
Now, one of the big components to coming to Springfield this time was neutrality and trying to make sure that no team had any particular advantage. And obviously playing in Albany, Siena's going to be the nearest team. That is their home floor. So how important is it here going back to Albany that you again try to tell the other 10 member schools we're doing everything we can to keep it neutral?
Well, even more than the schools, we wanted the athletes to feel that they were at something other than a regular season game, that this is a tournament. Now, we know they recognize it. They know it's a one-and-done type of thing. But we wanted them to really feel like it was something that they would remember as a tournament. So we have invested in a look that we hope enhances that and also enhances it for all the other fans. But the fact of the matter is, Siena has a great home base, and they're always going to have a lot of fans when Siena's playing. But let's make it just a little bit different and something special for the student-athletes.
And, Rich, who are some of the companies you've been working with to rebrand here?
Well, we did get a floor deal with the Basketball Hall of Fame. We partnered up with the Horner Floor Company, and they've given us our own look. Here's the center court logo. And then the Hall of Fame also has the option to put in slots for events when they're moving the floor to the different events they run, like at Mohegan Sun.
So that's a pretty expensive venture. I mean, floors don't come cheaply.
Well, Horner is a trade deal. We have to pay for some of the painting, but generally the floor itself was given to us as part of the deal, and we give them advertising and opportunities to talk to our schools about putting floors in at their campuses.
Okay, and I want to shift gears just a little bit to this year's championship, both the men's and women's side ongoing right now. What are the chances at this point that the MAAC might be able to get an at-large invitation either on the men's side or the women's side?
Well, it's been a great season, as you know, covering it. Well, you know, all the games coming down the wire. We think we do have a pretty good case for both the men and the women. Particularly the men and the women, I would say Marist and Iona on the women's side both have significant resumes. Marist has some good non-conference wins. On the men's side, you'd have a Manhattan team that just went on the road and beat teams. And that's something that the committee always looks at. And Iona's been a very potent force down the stretch. And, you know, how teams do the last half of the season is something the committee will look at. Iona's going to be on the board because they're co-champions the regular season, as, you know, Manhattan is too. And so I think both teams are going to get a strong look. We talked with our committee reps on Wednesday. We had an in-depth discussion of both teams. And then we'll be back in touch with them on Tuesday morning to explain how we did in the championship and why we think there's a case to be made for both the men and women to be in the postseason.
Should be fun, and let's give one last push to the 2015 MAAC Championships. We've got a graphic to show the folks, and again, next year we'll be back at the Times Union Center.
And we are doing ticket planning right now. We had a discussion with our athletic directors here this week. We plan to have it approved in April, how the plan will roll out. And sometime in May, fans will be hearing about the opportunities to get all-session tickets in prime locations.
Should be fun. Thanks so
Always
much for your time, Commissioner.
Thank you, Doug.
Okay, we'll be back here in Springfield right after this.
Division I basketball returns to Springfield this March. The MAAC Men's and Women's Basketball Championships, where somebody could become an NCAA champion. March 6th through the 10th, Mass Mutual Center in Springfield.
Gets it off from midcourt.
Get your tickets for the MAAC Basketball Championship and get into the action all the way to the finish at Ticketmaster.com, Massachusetts.com, or at the Mass Mutual Center box office. Presented by Mass Mutual Financial Group.
Fulfill your educational goals on a 22-acre private residential campus just minutes away from the world's economic, cultural, communications, and entertainment center, New York City. For more than 160 years, Manhattan College has promised a Lasallian Catholic education featuring 5 schools of study that challenge students to excel academically while providing career opportunities second to none. Find out what Manhattan College can promise your future.
NCAA March Madness is coming to Buffalo. Experience it live.
Brings it home.
As 8 of the top collegiate teams compete for a shot at the NCAA Sweet 16. Don't miss the buzzer beaters. As Cinderellas crash the party at the 2014 NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship. March 20th and 22nd at the First Niagara Center in Buffalo. Affordable tickets now available. Visit ncaa.com/MBB tickets.
We are St. Peter's University, a place where students who are eager to learn are taught by people who care, on a campus designed for both to thrive. We're proud to offer incredible learning opportunities and life-changing experiences, and that means our students are prepared to succeed in their fields, in their communities, and all over the world. Get to know St. Peter's University, the Jesuit University of New Jersey.
Back at halftime in Springfield, Massachusetts, with Iona leading Canisius 48-41 in our first MAAC semifinal. And welcome back, everybody, to the Mass Mutual Center. Doug Sherman with former Division I assistant coach Rob Kennedy. And we have gotten what we expected so far through the first 20 minutes.
Well, both these teams get up and down the floor, and throughout the regular season, both these teams have utilized the three-point shot. So no surprise that we've got a high-scoring first half that featured a ton of 3 points.
And Canisius was very efficient at the offensive end, shooting nearly 50%, shooting 40% from beyond the arc. But Iona was even better at over 60% from the floor.
And if the Gales are going to shoot it at 60%, you're in trouble. If you're going to keep up with them, well, you've got to make some threes yourself. That was Billy Barron's only three-point shot in that first half. And when you think that they knocked down 6, you expect him to have more. But luckily for Billy Barron and his dad, Jim, his teammates stepped up, able to deliver, especially the freshman Zach Lewis knocking down 3 of those threes.
Meanwhile, Iona, as we talked about, has many weapons, and many of them have been contributing today.
And that's what's so hard about guarding them. Who do you key on? They share the basketball, and they've got 4 guys that step up that are in the top 9 in 3-point field goals made per game. And Sean Armand, one of those guys, had a huge first half.
And there's some of the numbers for Iona. 11 of 14 from inside the 3-point line, 8 of 17 from beyond the arc, and they share the basketball as well as anybody in the conference. 12 assists on those 19 made field goals. Both sides have taken care of the basketball well. It's been competitive. Iona led by as many as 8. Canisius took the lead for a while, but the Gales head into the second half with a 48-41 lead. Back to the Mass Mutual Center right after this. Welcome back to the 2014 MAAC Basketball Championship presented by Pepsi Max. We're at the Mass Mutual Center in Springfield, Massachusetts. Our score, Iona 48, Canisius 41. Zach Lewis had 11 of the first 13 Golden Griffin points in this ball game, and he caught up with Mitch Bonaguro moments ago.
Last 5 minutes defensively, had some breakdowns. What do you have to do in the second half to guard Iona better?
Oh, we got to get stops and rebound. I mean, even when they're missing, they're crashing the glass and they're getting offensive rebounds. So we really got to close out and get our stops right.
You came out and you had a great first 5 minutes. You had 9 points. Did coach tell you to look for your shot?
Oh, yeah. He always tells me to be aggressive at all times. We all know that everybody's going to be watching Billy, stick on Billy. So he just tells me to be aggressive.
Good luck in the second half.
All right, thank you.
Let's update our one-on-one for you. And Billy Barron, as we showed in the highlights, with only 1 made 3-point shot. But again, this has been his MO, where he's more deferential in the first half and looks more for his own shot in the second half.
Well, they've got to find him some decent looks. One of those threes was a force with 2 defenders hanging on him. They've not been able to free him up. His one clean look was when they were able to throw it into man Hurts and collapse the zone. They've got to try to play a little bit more inside out. On the other side, Sean Armand, I'm not sure he can play a better half of basketball shooting it than he did in that first half.
All the way lights out. Yeah, Rob, as you saw from the numbers, 7 of 9 from the floor, 3 of 4 from beyond the arc, 3 assists, played 19 of the 20 minutes, and he has his team on top by 7 with a spot in the MAAC championship game, riding on the outcome. Iona with the basketball to begin the second half. English, Bowman, Lowry gets the start in the second half, along with Williams and Armand.
Trying to post up Lowry inside. 4 out, 1 in.
Manhertz banging with Lowry, who's got great position. Missed the layup. Jordan Heath with the rebound, and here comes Billy Barron out there with Perez, Lewis, and Manhertz. Both these teams with 21 wins on the year. Iona the number 1 seed, Canisius the number 4 seed.
Barron on the switch, had Williams guard him. I think he should have been aggressive and tried to blow by him.
Instead, it's Perez with the blow by. He's got 11. And it's back to a 5-point ball game. Lowry behind the back. He whips it to Williams.
As we've said many a times, he's got a lot of really good basketball skills. Passing might be his best.
Lewis off to a quick start in the second half, just like in the first.
Lowry's got a great feel for the game. A lot of times you think about that as far as guards are concerned. You see it right there. Threading the needle from up top. He is the point forward.
Lowry with consecutive assists on consecutive Williams layups.
He's as good a passing power forward as you're going to see. Against this zone, they got to figure out ways to get Billy Barron into gaps.
There's a gap. Barron, though, left the jumper short. Lowry with the rebound. Lowry's yet to score, but he does have 4 assists and continues to be a presence on the glass. 1 and done for Iona that time.
The other Griff they haven't been able to get going is Jordan Heath. And you look out there, he's got a 6 to 7 inch height advantage on whoever's going to be guarding him.
Perez missed the layup. He gets it back. And he's called for traveling.
Yeah, at times on switches you see Sean Armand guarding Heath as Perez got himself in trouble on the baseline. That was going to be a turnover one way or the other. But Heath, who was so aggressive yesterday in their game against Siena, had great energy. He's not had that same energy here this afternoon.
Lewis called for the foul. Who's David Lowry remind you of, if anybody, Rob? With that skill set and the body type and the size.
He's so funky. There's not another guy that I think you can compare him to. He's a little thick. He didn't look like he's the most athletic guy, but he's got a great feel.
When I think of point forwards, I think of guys like
Paul Pressey, and certainly doesn't have the body type of that.
And Don Nelson. Thank you,
Sean Armand's doing everything. He's cleaned up your coffee, came over, make sure we're all right.
I'm just glad I hadn't taken the lid off just yet. But, like you say, Paul Pressey, and Don Nelson is a coach, and George Karl is a coach. A guy like Vincent Askew was another point forward type, and he to me reminds me somewhat of those guys, but just different.
Yeah, his body type's so different. They were long, lanky guys. He's not long and lanky, but he's got that same innate ability to pass the basketball. And to do that, you have to have a good feel. And he's got a terrific basketball IQ.
Deep 3 with 9 on the shot clock. A.J. English. The lane just opened up.
And Canisius got to be careful here. One thing about the Gales, even when they get a lead, they play with so many possessions. You're going to have enough opportunities to get back into the ball game, but the Griffs got to get something going here in this second.
Perez back to Lewis. Here comes the double team. Near steal by Bowman. Perez loves to drive the paint from that angle. Just couldn't get the roll. English gathers himself. And he has it rim out. That would have stretched the lead to double figures. Feeding the post, Manhertz taken down hard, and he'll shoot two. We're in Springfield, Massachusetts, with a spot in the MAAC championship game on the line. Quick start in the second half for Iona.
Well, look what the wind blew in. Putting the team back together. We need you. That's music to my ear.
It's too easy out here.
Oh, man. Oh, baby.
I wanted to stay in the entertainment sector, so I looked at schools in New York, and Iona stood out. Iona offered a wonderful opportunity, Career Mentor Day. I met an alum who was the senior vice president at CBS. Within a week, I had an interview, and from there, I was able to get in my current position. Iona is definitely responsible for my place here and my future here.
Outstanding internships, supported by an active alumni base, are just one reason Iona graduates are helping to move the world.
At Quinnipiac University, we offer the warmth and spirit of a small town. You feel it the moment you step on our picturesque campus and a team of upperclassmen helps you move into your freshman dorm. You feel it in the dining areas as students and faculty share meals together. And you can cheer with your friends and Boomer the Bobcat at many of our exciting NCAA Division I sporting events. This is Quinnipiac University, where you're part of our community.
Well, look what the wind blew in. Putting the team back together. We need you. That's music to my ear.
It's too easy out here.
Oh, man. Oh, baby.
Iona 54, Canisius 45, early second half here at the Mass Mutual Center. The Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference and ESPN have very exciting news for MAAC sports fans. ESPN has launched a dedicated MAAC channel available on the Watch ESPN app on Apple TV and Roku devices. All live, upcoming, and replay MAAC men's and women's basketball games are available on this channel. Olympic sports and non-event programming such as highlights, news, and features are also included going forward. Exciting news announced in the last couple of weeks by both ESPN and the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. With Mitch Bonaguro and Rob Kennedy, I'm Doug Sherman. Iona with a 9-point lead. And what have you seen, Rob, in the first 4.5 minutes of this second half?
Iona getting out in transition, finding some good looks. Missed their 2 threes. That last one was halfway down. The other side, Chris Manhertz, he's been a man inside, but he needs some help. Jordan Heath right now with the stat line of 0 points, 0 for 3 from the floor. He's only got 2 rebounds. He was a big reason why they were able to win in the quarterfinals. Had a good game, knocked down 3 threes, 5 points, 2 blocks for Jim Barron, but he's been a no-show so far. They need him to step up and help out.
And as you said, he's a head taller at 6'10" than anybody who's going to be guarding him, but he's not your classic big, back to the basket, dominate, take advantage, but at the same time, he's got to give you something down there.
Yeah, spot on. Yeah, he wants to take big guys out on the perimeter and knock down threes. They don't have a big to go take out into the perimeter right now, so he's got to be able to get himself in the post and utilize that size advantage.
English, Poole, Lowry, Bowman, and Armand, who works the baseline.
Canisius back into the zone, which was effective in that first half.
There's Armand trying to creep along the back line, but the Griffs' zone defense able to collapse and knock it out of bounds. Iona keeps possession. 10 to shoot, nearly 5 minutes in to this second half. English, Armand passed it to Poole, who wasn't looking. He was wide open in the lane. Fortunate, the ball came through to Bowman and put it in. Now, does he get an assist for that? That wasn't the guy he was passing it to.
Still ended up looking good, right?
Yep. Perez for 3. Long rebound. English and Barron get tied up, and the possession arrow will stay at this end. There's Tim Kluse enjoying his birthday, at least so far, up by 9, 56-47. He's the 2014 MAAC Coach of the Year, as announced earlier this week here in Springfield. And he has taken the Gales to back-to-back NCAA tournaments, once as an at-large and once as the automatic. After winning the championship, and now the officials, Earl Walton and Wally Rattecki, going to go over to the far sideline to check a replay.
Yep. Check on the shot clock. Shot clock had been reset. There was no change of possession, so try to figure out the timing issue over there.
Well, we're always looking for a quick termination. That was about as quick as you're going to see.
Well, remember, it was off a rebound, right? So the ball did hit the rim. They wanted to make sure of that. It was an immediate tie-up, so veteran crew, a terrific crew on the game today, so not surprising they were able to figure it out quickly.
Valenti, Barron, Jordan Heath. Here goes Zach Lewis out there with Perez as well. Little pick and pop. Valenti misfires, and then a foul on the rebound. Armand questioning the call, but he's going to be the guilty party.
You see, he and Heath standing next to each other. You're right. He's more than a head taller than Armand, as he now picks up his third, and that'll be something to keep an eye on. Yet he's still being aggressive defensively.
Coming up with a steal along with Poole. Back to Armand. There you go.
And that is as good as it gets. How about that? You pick up your third foul, yet you're in full out denial to keep the ball out of Billy Barron's hands. You come up with the deflection, put it ahead to a teammate, and have the presence of mind to get yourself out to the three-point line.
Lewis misses the three. And it's Canisius basketball.
That was just a great individual effort by Sean Armand and a smart basketball play.
Isaiah Williams going to replace Armand now. He's looking at his coach saying, why am I coming out? But he does have 3 personals, and so his coach is going to protect him a little bit.
And he can right now with the 12-point lead.
Barron gets it back from Valenti. Gales doing a nice job defensively on Barron so far here today. Barron. Iona basketball.
That was a good look as everybody was sucked in by Perez and just flipped it back to Barron. Not like he's going to have a lot of time to eye the basket because they're closing out to him every time he's got a catch. They need him to get hot. And they're running multiple defenders and different guys at him, and no matter who's guarding him, whether it was English, Armand, those guys have been able to frustrate him so far.
Offensive foul against David Lowry. And that is his 3rd personal, and the 4th against Iona here in the second half. Now assistant coach Jared Grosso jumped up off the Iona bench to remind Lowry, play smart.
And here against the zone, they've got to figure out ways to continue to move Billy Barron around. Now Iona gets out of the zone and goes straight man.
There's a nice move for Billy Barron.
They got him right into the high ball screen, and then he just absolutely attacked the rim off that. He's got to stop worrying about taking threes, get himself into gaps, get himself attacking the rim. I like that play.
That's 9 points now for Barron, who scored 17 in the quarterfinal victory against Siena yesterday.
A couple of weeks ago, Steve Masiello made a great point. Barron, you can have him under control for a while, then all of a sudden, bang, he scores 10 quick ones. Right now, the Griffs could use one of those explosive sets.
Lowry misses on the putback. Perez attacks the rim. English pulls away the rebound, and here comes Iona. dump it off for Bowman.
But how about the job by English not to come down and turn the basketball over? He left his feet, usually a cardinal sin, especially out on the break, yet he was able to hang long enough to go find a teammate. That was a big switch right there. You had a layup by Perez that could have gotten Canisius a little bit of momentum. Instead, a quick, easy score at the other end, again for the Gales.
That's the 16th assist for the Gales on 25 made field goals. Another layup for Billy Barron.
And I think he's got to get guys now. If you start driving off them now, they're not hanging all over you at the three-point line, and then maybe it frees things up.
9 minutes into the second half. Iona with possession and a 10-point lead. Pass deflected. Lowry saves it for the Gales.
He's got great hands.
Whips it to Bowman. Manhurts another defensive rebound. And again, Billy Barron attacking the basket. And he will send us to break off another Iona foul. The 2014 Conference Player of the Year, Billy Barron, not wanting his stay in Springfield to end here today.
Got the personal attention I needed. I had a lot of options when I graduated, and as far as I'm concerned, this is my dream job.
Ryder prepared me for my NBA career, and I also got the education that I need for life after basketball.
I had 6 teaching internships while I was at Ryder, and right after graduation, I started a career that I love.
It's knowing that you will always compete against the best, while making you become the best that you can be. It's about joining a family with a storied history, where athletics and academics are held to the highest of standards. It's about creating the future leaders of tomorrow, all with the focus on one goal: graduation. It's the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
The top-seeded Iona Gales with a 10-point lead over Canisius. And we go over to Mitch Bonaguro with the Gales head coach Tim Cluse.
Timmy, concern would be Barron getting going here late.
Yeah.
He's got 3 drives in a row.
3 drives, we have a little foul trouble, so that is a concern of ours right now. How to protect and keep away his drives without picking a fourth on anyone important.
Yeah, the zone defense, you feel you can keep him out of the lane? Is that why you're playing it?
Well, we should be, but we haven't been doing it. We're too extended on our zone on guys who haven't made shots, and we've got to make those guys make the shots at this time of the game, not let Billy Barron beat you.
Yeah, I noticed that Canisius has gone to the zone even late here down. Your philosophy against it, just get it to the middle and try and hit some threes?
Yeah, I think we can. I think we just have to space out. We have to get our players back in. Again, we're spotting guys up right now. If we have Sean and Trey in there with Dave, just make the simple play. Don't make a home run.
Good luck down the stretch.
Thanks, Mitch.
MAAC fans, make sure to head to the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame to see the MAAC exhibit. The MAAC experience displays all 11 MAAC institutions and highlights of their basketball performances over the years, including a new exhibit highlighting the great MAAC coaches in history. And we are just down the road from the Basketball Hall of Fame here in Springfield. You see from the MAAC honor roll a couple of the Canisius Griffs being honored here this weekend. And every school getting its turn to honor a couple of the former greats from both the men's and women's side. And so lots of alumni able to come back and be around. We saw yesterday people like Juan Mendez from Niagara, who was honored. And we saw Luis Flores, who was honored from Manhattan. And on the women's side, Julianne Vianney from Marist, who is here as one of us, part of the ESPN broadcast team. She'll join me tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock for the women's championship game on ESPNU, but she was a great player for the Red Foxes as well. Here's Billy Barron at the line, made the first. Hits his own miss. A third layup in very short order.
And now he's 5 of 7 from inside the three-point line and 1 for 5 outside of it, so he's got to continue to attack the rim.
You know, when Mitch was talking to Coach Cluse, you could see on Tim's face, even though they're up double figures, they just don't want to get Barron going.
And he made a great point. In their zone defense, they're getting too spread out to other guys who may have made a couple of threes early on, but statistically throughout the season aren't great three-point shooters. And he made the comment, you can't let Billy Barron beat us. You got to make other guys beat us. Got to force the ball out of Barron's hands and see if those other guys can make big shots in a big situation.
Barron's got 14 for the game, 7 in just the last couple of minutes on 3 layups and a free throw. Now the pull-up. English pulls it down. English again leaves his feet, finds Bowman, and a chance for 3.
Well, the Iona way is to rush the ball up the floor and get you on your heels and put pressure on you. Another time where English got himself off the floor, left the ground, yet he's athletic enough and hangs long enough to go find a teammate. Both times that teammate he found was Trey Bowman. Vance Ertz was open twice. They finally find him. He was wide open. Nobody was guarding him.
Bowman can't quite get the roll, and it's another rebound for Chris Manhurst.
But even when they miss threes, they look good.
Very soft. And very hard on the throwdown by Jordan Heath.
And welcome to the party.
A senior from Rochester with his first 2 points. Head coach Jim Barron playing cheerleader to the fans who made the trip from Western New York.
And son Billy as well following dad's suit.
We'll take a break as Canisius has cut the lead to 5.
Well, look what the wind blew. Putting the team back together. We need you. That's music to my ear.
It's too easy out here.
Oh, man, man. Oh, baby.
The right education can inspire you to do anything. Challenge yourself. Prepare for success. This is your moment to create, explore, discover, matter to each other and to the world. Be inspired to do anything at Monmouth University, where leaders look forward.
And now my journey across the country's brought me to the lovely city of Boston. Cheers. And seeing as it's such a historic city, I'm sure they'll appreciate that Geico's been saving people money for over 75 years. Oh dear. I've dropped my tea into the Boston Harbour. I guess this party's over.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Well, look what the wind blew. Putting the team back together. We need you. That's music to my ear.
It's too easy out here.
Oh, man, man. Oh, baby.
Canisius has pulled back within 5, 63-58. Iona on top. And time now to look at our Pepsi Max slam of the game. And for that, we don't have to rewind too far. A few moments ago, Jordan Heath with the dunk for Canisius. That's our Pepsi Max slam of the game.
Like I said, we're going to introduce you to Jordan Heath. He's been invisible throughout this game, and they need him to step up, provide that energy, his athleticism, and his size. This is a much smaller Iona lineup. They make you pay by creating matchup problems on the perimeter. Well, Canisius has got to make them pay with that small lineup by getting Jordan Heath involved. Even though, as you said, Doug, he's not your prototypical post-up 5, they still have to be able to figure out a way to utilize his size.
And he is 3rd in the conference in field goal accuracy at 53%. So he certainly is capable of contributing. On the year, averaging over 10 per game.
And right now, he's at the point of this 1-3-1 zone defense. Talk about length out at the point of that zone.
That might inhibit a jump shooter.
Yeah.
Nice passing to find English.
That was pretty.
Lowry. Manhertz took a dive and somehow comes up with the basketball, and they use a timeout to keep possession.
You see Manhertz grimacing as he got up. He went down earlier. He's got his wrist wrapped, and last time somebody tried to pull him and help him back up, he was a little tender with that wrist.
NCAA March Madness is coming to Buffalo. When the final buzzer sounds, only the best will advance to the NCAA Sweet 16, and you can experience it live. Catch the 2nd and 3rd round action of the 2014 NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship, March 20th and 22nd at First Niagara Center, hosted by Canisius, the MAAC, and Niagara. Affordable all-session tickets are on sale now. For tickets, visit ncaa.com/MBB tickets and make a date with champions. 63-58, Iona with the lead. And yes, it is the Syracuse
There
invitation.
you go. I'm waiting for you. Well, because now at least you finally won a game, and maybe you can keep it that way.
Remember that movie, Waiting to Exhale? Every Syracuse alumni group in the country was able to exhale today with that win. Head to the ACC tournament now off a win. From what I understand, less than 600 tickets remain for that Syracuse Invitational out in Buffalo, the 1st and 2nd rounds of the NCAA tournament. Under 8 minutes remaining here in regulation. Canisius with the basketball, down by 5. Trying to take down the regular season champs from Iona. Heath. And his 3 goes up and over the top of the backboard, so it goes back to Iona.
And even though I'd like to see him get inside, you got to like that shot on the pick and pop.
63-58 will step away from the Mass Mutual Center. The 2014 MAAC Basketball Championship is brought to you by Pepsi Max. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. And by Anaconda Sports. Home of the Rock is proud to sponsor the MAAC. Back in downtown Springfield, Massachusetts, Iona 63, Canisius 58. The Gales have led by as many as 12, but Canisius just keeps chipping away. 4 different Canisius starters are in double figures. 14 for Billy Barron, 13 apiece for Lewis and Manhertz, and Perez has 11. But both sides, Iona and Canisius, have cooled off dramatically here in the second half from beyond the arc.
Yeah, look at that. After everybody knocking in shots all over the place, nobody able to buy one here in this second half. And if you're not making outside shots, much like Billy Barron's done all game long, then you've got to get yourself attacking the rim.
And Barron has missed 5 of his 6 3-point attempts today.
Back into 1-3-1 with Heath at the point of this 1-3-1.
Armand finds Williams loose underneath for an easy 2.
We talk about how he's expanded his game. No stat jumps out and shows you that as much as his ability to find teammates, averaging over 4 assists per game, top 5 in the MAAC coming into the tournament.
And Rob, that is his 4th assist today. Williams now with 16 points. Armand leads the way with 20, and Trey Bowman has 14.
Here comes the second defender at Barron. It's a smart move. Force the ball out of his hands.
4 to shoot. Lewis up. There's Jordan Heath up above the rest, and he was fouled.
And that's what they need. They need his energy more than anything else.
Second foul on English, only the 6th team foul against Iona.
Offensive rebounding, the reason why they're playing today. If they didn't get after it on the offensive rebound, they would have lost that quarterfinal matchup against Siena.
And Rob Canisius has been called for only 2 team fouls in the second half. Lowry blocks the shot of Manhertz. Manhertz again. Lowry again, standing his ground. Heath is after it. And Heath puts it up and in.
Well, that's the way to fight and stay with it.
I get the sense Canisius doesn't want to go home.
And that's what you got to do. Struggling offensively, can't make a 3, then you got to find some extra efforts on the offensive glass.
Williams again. Here's Armand with all day to tee it up. Trey Bowman pulls it down. Big offensive rebound for Iona.
Out of this 1-3-1, Canisius going to have to clean up how they're guarding the baseline.
Yeah, Williams just continues to find openings.
And he's 6'7". You forget how big he is.
English for 3.
And when they stretch you out of that 1-3-1, if you don't play a ton of the 1-3-1, every once in a while you throw it out, you can get a team off balance. But if you stay in it for too long, it's a lot of ground to be able to cover, especially into the corners where the Gales are so good at making 3s.
Perez from deep. Lowry rips the rebound away.
And Canisius out of the 1-3-1 and back to their 2-3 zone. That's a good move.
On the shot clock. Lowry high post. Leans in and Heath picks up the foul.
You think he was going to catch it and blow right by? David Lowry struggling to score it, but as soon as he came into the high post, he was thinking about one thing: catch, rip, and attack the rim.
And so the 6'9" junior from East Orange, New Jersey will go to the line looking for his first point to go along with the 9 rebounds and 4 assists. And it's back to a double-figure Iona lead.
Here's where I'd get Billy Barron back in one of those high ball screens. Force Iona to make a decision on how they're going to guard Billy Barron here.
Barron, nothing but net. Timeout Canisius.
Well, they got him into the ball screen there. You go behind it. He's able to make you pay from beyond the 3-point line. Just his second 3 of the game. Well, here's this high ball screen as Williams is guarding him. And all he needs is a little bit of light. Screen finally gets there. Jordan rolls on the switch. English starts backing up, and he makes him pay. And afterwards, see a little contact there. And Billy Barron been frustrated by the Iona Gales defense all game long. But here's where he's got to now put his team on his back. If they're going to have a chance to be playing in the championship Monday night, he's got to be able to carry him coming down the stretch.
Barron scored 17 points against Siena yesterday. He's got 17 so far here today. He's gotten some good things going in the second half, taking the ball to the basket. But that three we just saw him make is only long-range shot since the break. Canisius in a man-to-man now. English steps back. Lowry able to get the rebound for a moment. Billy Barron got the attention of Ed Corbett. And the official has something to say to Barron. The conversation continues as timeout has been called.
Well, Canisius last couple of times hasn't been able to finish off defensive possessions. That time out of the man-to-man. Earlier it was out of the zone. If you get a stop and you get a miss and you're down by 7, you got to go get the basketball off the backboard.
This is the first of our two semifinals upcoming. Ike Azotam and the third-seeded Quinnipiac Bobcats will take on George Beeman and the second-seeded Manhattan Jaspers. This is the first time in 3 years that all 4 top seeds made it to semifinals Sunday. And we'll have all the action for you scheduled for a 7 o'clock tip on ESPN 3. It's the MAAC Basketball Championship presented by Pepsi Max with Mitch Bonaguro and Rob Kennedy. I'm Doug Sherman. Iona has been playing from in front this entire ball game, up 7 at the moment. Billy Barron with the takeaway and then the foul called against English. (70-63) our score as we take a timeout here in Springfield.
Well, look what the wind blew. Putting the team back together. We need you. That's music to my ear.
It's too easy out here.
Oh, man, man. Oh, baby.
Deep within you is a relentless drive. You come prepared. You come willing to work. You come to win. Discover the Performance Protein Bar made just for you. Come ready. 24 grams of protein, 5 grams of fiber, no sugar alcohols. One unbelievably awesome taste. Come ready. You don't quit, and neither should your bar. Come ready for the competitive.
NCAA March Madness is coming to Buffalo. Experience it live.
Oh, brings it home.
As 8 of the top collegiate teams compete for a shot at the NCAA Sweet 16. Don't miss the buzzer beaters. As Cinderellas crash the party at the 2014 NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship. March 20th and 22nd at the First Niagara Center in Buffalo. Affordable tickets now available. Visit ncaa.com/MVB tickets.
Well, look what the wind blew. Putting the team back together. We need you. That's music to my ear.
It's too easy out here.
Oh, man, man. Oh, baby.
70-63, Iona with a 7-point lead. Just looking at the foul situation, Canisius has only 3 team fouls here in the second half. Iona has now 7 after English picked up his 3rd personal. So if it gets to that point, the Griffs are going to have to pick up a few more fouls if they want to get Iona to the line, if it comes to that.
Yep, and with the foul shot situation here, Billy Barron leads the MAAC in foul shooting at nearly 90%. So if he can convert here in the second, you get up in the full court pressure, knowing that you only have 3 team fouls, you're extra aggressive in the press. And so you're not necessarily reaching, getting a foul, but you're going to you're not going to worry about reaching in. And so you don't tackle anybody, but be aggressive. See if you can't make something happen. And that's exactly where Canisius is now, up in the full court pressure.
Manhertz muscling up on Lowry. And so exactly as you expected, Rob, we pick up a foul in the backcourt. And just the second personal on Manhertz, so no problem if you're Canisius. Iona will have it in the backcourt. Here's that matchup again. Lowry guarded by Manhertz. Reach in on Perez, and he picks up the personal foul. I think the message you were just saying is exactly what Coach Barron was saying in the huddle. Go ahead, go after it, go for steals, and if you pick up a foul, no problem.
But now that you've got 5 team fouls, don't worry about it. Now just play the rest of the way.
Lowry still without a field goal. Back out to English, who misses the 3. He has struggled from beyond the arc today. Barron right to the rim again.
And able to finish with the left, even with the bump from Lowry. And the Griffs trying to get their fans into this ball game. They've gotten themselves back in the ball game. Iona's become stagnant at the offensive end after looking so crisp for the last game and a half.
English blows by Barron, and then it's poked away. Here comes Perez. And he's fouled by Williams.
That was a great strip by Billy Barron. You talk about everything else he does. He's 3rd best in the league as far as steals are concerned. Then as soon as he got a handle of the basketball, he got his head up and looking for Perez, who was streaking up the floor.
Billy Barron has talked this year how he has been less demonstrative as a senior, trying to conserve energy as the game goes on, but he has certainly been more demonstrative the last few minutes.
Last 4 or 5 minutes, he's been urging the crowd on, and he was frustrated early in the game, and now he's starting to take his frustrations out on the Gales.
Perez can only get 1 out of 2. The lead is 2 points for Iona. 2:40 left in the second.
And with Canisius in their man defense, let's see if Iona can get something going offensively. Been a while. Armand hasn't even had many good looks. He's only got 2 field goal attempts this entire second half.
Trey Bowman. The Canisius run is 8 straight points, and now a chance to tie or take the lead. Bowman. Barron rather for the lead. Left it short. Bowman tracks down the long rebound.
Well, you like him being aggressive, but I'm not so sure that was the best shot they could get. You see, a little frustrated. He wanted that one. And Doug, Iona's been really stagnant offensively. They're trying to play through David Lowry, putting the ball in his hands, but everybody else standing around. They're so much better when Tim Kluse can get his team into offensive sets, cutters, reverse the basketball. They were so crisp the entire first game against Rider. Great in the first half, but they've gotten themselves stuck in quicksand here last 5 minutes of the ball game.
In the first half here today, Iona shot 61% from the field, 19 for 31. They led at the break by 7 points. They've led by as many as 12, but it's down to a very slim 2.
Good timeout by Tim Kluse, the MAAC Coach of the Year, to make sure that he's able to dictate a little better, to get some movement, and also dictate where the basketball is going to be able to go. If they put it,
that leaves Iona with the 1 timeout.
And if they put the ball back in Lowry's hands, you got to be careful. He loves to spin. You can sit on that and try and pick up a charge.
Here's English with the basketball, off to Lowry. To the basket. English for three. Manhurts the rebound, and again, Canisius can tie or take the lead.
And I get Billy Barron another high ball screen.
There you go. And he's tripped by Lowry.
And that's why he put such pressure on the defense in those high ball screens. He went down hard, though, off this one. Got tripped and went right to the ground. Good solid screen by Manhurts. You ain't getting through his screen. And Lowry and he just get tripped up with the feet. So the best foul shooter in the MAAC with an opportunity to get this thing tied up from the line.
Barron now gets himself to the line, but he is in some pain. That foul on Lowry, his fourth. Sean Armand, who helped us with our spilled coffee about 20 minutes ago, now helping wipe up the perspiration on the floor as you see the interlocked arms on the Canisius bench.
Coming up the other way, Armand, they've got to get him some shots. Just 2 shot attempts here in this second half after playing so well in the first half. Had 17. His teammates have forgotten about him.
It's down to the final 90 seconds. Tied at 70 for a spot in the MAAC championship.
And Billy Barron's not deferring anymore. He's put this team on his back. Now Sean Armand's got to do the same.
Bowman nearly lost it. 15 on the shot clock. Now back to Armand. English leans in. Lowry. Big bucket and a chance for a three-point play.
But I like the way they're driving the basketball instead of being so stagnant. They got more touches on that possession than they've gotten in the last 4 or 5 minutes. And at the end of all those touches, English aggressive. That's a good shot going right at Manhurts. Nice ball fake by Lowry. The ability to finish. Jordan Heath's out on the perimeter. He's got to get in and go rebound the basketball.
Just the first made field goal for David Lowry here tonight. Misses the foul shot. Under a minute remaining. Canisius down 2 with the ball.
And you got to put Barron in another ball screen. Here comes the double to try and force it out of his hands.
Manhurts gives it back to Barron. 17 to shoot. Barron for the lead. Manhurts taps it out, but it's Iona that comes up with the basketball.
Now you got to foul. You don't want to foul Armand. Force the ball out of his hands.
And that is the 7th team foul, so Armand will shoot a 1-and-1. It's still a 1-possession game.
It's still plenty of time, so you don't have to get the 3. Double's going to force it out of Barron's hands.
13 seconds.
I might think about a timeout here.
Manhurts throws it down. Timeout Canisius. The Griffs are back within a point.
And I think Jim Barron was just about to call timeout until his son Billy able to find a wide open Chris Manhurts inside. Here came again. If everybody's going to bail out and try and take Billy Barron away, then other guys have to step up. That's a great feed, find, and that's the way to finish it off if your Manhurts. Plenty of time now. They're back up in a situation where even if you give the foul, they hit both foul shots, it's still a 1-possession game. I like playing percentages here.
So if you're Tim Cluse, who would you most want to have the ball in his hands at this point?
Well, certainly Sean Armand's a terrific shooter and a senior star who's had a great season all year. He's the guy. Trey Bowman also a terrific foul shooter. Williams at 88% coming in. So they've got a lot of different guys. What you want to do is you want to make sure that David Lowry doesn't catch the basketball. He's their worst foul shooter. But other than that, you pretty much put it in anybody else's hands and you're all right.
And if you're Canisius, you don't get picky.
No. Not with 9.2. Whoever it comes into, you got to make sure you give up the foul. If there's some way you can invite the basketball into David Lowry's hands, fine. Go ahead and take your chances. Play the percentages.
But don't be over-aggressive. You're only in the bonus. So just a clean foul will make it a 1-and-1.
And that's why it was important for them early on to give up those fouls at the 3-minute mark when they only had the 3 personal fouls. If they didn't give up those 2 fouls, now all of a sudden you got to give up 2. And you may not have enough time.
Yep, you'd be wasting a couple of seconds with each of those fouls, and now those 2 seconds are precious. Lowry's the inbound man to Bowman. No whistle. Do they tie him up? No, we get a foul call against Lewis.
That took a while to get that whistle. But still enough time.
Seconds. Yeah, it took 4 seconds off the clock.
And Bowman over 80% on the season.
Jordan Heath in. Phil Valenti out. Manhurt's also back in.
Well, because the first thing you have to do if he does miss it, you got to be able to get yourself the rebound.
And Rainey goes out. So here's Bowman, the 6'5" senior from York, Pennsylvania.
Canisius has 1 timeout left.
Now they have none.
Now they have none. Jim Barron taking a timeout. Combination here to try to see if you can't make Trey Bowman think about it, but also set up how they're going to attack on miss or make.
Well, with this much time on the clock, whether it's a 2 or a 3-point lead, how varied can you be if you're Canisius? What options do you have when you get the ball back?
They got option 1, 2, and 3 is put the ball in Billy Barron's hands and let him go make a play. Now, if Iona runs a second guy at him,
which they're gonna,
and maybe even a third guy at him to force somebody else to beat you, he will give up the basketball. I'm not so sure here, though. Unless he's forced to give it up, I bet you he's going to put that shot up. We've seen him a couple of times with game winners, including way back in the early season when he hit a deep, contested, tough 3 against Elon to pull out a win in the preseason NIT. And then if you're Iona with 5.2 seconds left, do you think about fouling him to not allow him to get up a 3?
Bowman makes it a 3-point ball game. Here's Barron with 5 seconds.
You got to watch Heath if they double.
4 overtime. The Iona Gales survive and advance to the MAAC Finals tomorrow night. Tim Cluse's club, led by as many as 12. The Griffs continued to battle, make a ball game of it, but Jim Barron's club falls just a bit short.
Well, they say survive and advance, and Iona survived it. Survived the 3-point shot from the MAAC Player of the Year. You see the emotion of Billy Barron. His season's not going to be over. They're going to play in postseason, but he wanted his stay in Springfield here to continue, and he wanted that to be in the NCAA tournament. Just about the only thing he's not been able to accomplish in his career.
23 points, 16 of them in the second half, but not quite enough as Billy Barron heads to the locker room here at the Mass Mutual Center. Sean Armand, meanwhile, will play on in tomorrow night's 7 o'clock championship game against the winner of the second semi between Manhattan and Quinnipiac, which is coming up at approximately the top of the hour. Send it over to Mitch Monteguro with the winning head coach. Mitch?
Tim, really tough game. Canisius really battled you to the end. You're thinking there at the end, no foul? What is your style?
Actually, we talked about if we were going to foul, let's make sure we do it before half court, before you can wind up for a shot. You have an opportunity to give one after a couple of seconds. Give one if you're not comfortable where you think you might shoot the ball. Play straight out. Switch every ball screens. Make it a tough shot, and give up a 2 if they want it.
You had a stretch in the second half, right? But 5-6 minutes where you didn't score. You got them back in the game. What was the difference? Did you make any adjustments in the huddle last 3-4 minutes?
Honestly, I thought we got a little bit tentative again with the lead, and we kind of relaxed, and we let a couple of dumb plays on the other end where sometimes guys try to do too much. Sometimes all you need to do is catch and pass, and all of a sudden we're twisting and going through our legs with the ball, and you lose the passing lane already. So I was glad they found the focus and were able to find a way to win. That's a great Canisius team.
It's nice to have Sean Armon, though, to have a player of that caliber. Yeah. He's been in a lot of big games.
I don't want to lose, I'm telling you that, so we're enjoying this to the bitter end.
Congratulations, Tim.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, man.
Sean, tough, hard-fought game. You knew Canisius was going to give it your best shot. What was the difference?
Defense, really, We really came in every segment, talking to each other, just trying to commit to defense. And up and down game for both teams, and we just got away with one.
The last play of the game, Coach said he had mentioned about fouling Barron coming up the floor. You guys, but he said you had to do it quickly, and you guys didn't. Was it?
Guys gapped it well, and Barron hits a lot of clutch shots in his career and lately. And when we got past half court, about 2 seconds left. We had a good length on him, so there was no point of fouling. He put one up, and it didn't go in, so.
Sean, what does it mean to you now? You have a shot to go 3 times to the NCAA. Not a lot of teams in the MAAC have done that. What is that? What would that mean to you?
It's just great. Here at Iona, we do a lot, put a lot of work in. From when Coach Stu's first got here, his 4 seasons here, we had a lot of success. And it's a team that's unselfish. We play for each other, and we're just happy to be here.
Good luck and congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Sean Armand, our Pepsi Max player of the game. 21 points, 5 assists. He did a little bit of everything for his team.
Well, got off to the great start. They needed that. They needed that big lead as they let it slip away a little bit late there.
Meanwhile, Canisius, as you said, is going to play again. Their season ends in terms of MAAC play, but they will have another game.
Yeah, with 21 wins, no question they'll be in postseason.
Okay, that'll do it for our first semifinal ball game between the Canisius Golden Griffins and the Iona College Gales. Iona, the #1 seed, the regular season champs, win the ball game 75-72. Join us in 20 minutes for the second men's semifinal on ESPN3. The second men's semi features second-seeded Manhattan versus third-seeded Quinnipiac. For Rob Kennedy, Mitch Monteguro, and our entire crew, I'm Doug Sherman saying so long from Springfield, Massachusetts. The proceeding has been a presentation of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.